Have you ever wondered if a podcast host is completely not interested on the guest he has invited? And that exactly what has happened with the Naval Ravikant and Ranveer aka Beer Biceps Show. Ranveer hosts biggest Indian podcast. Unfortunately, Ranveer lives in the idea land. So basically, he is in more sync with people like conspiracy theories, babas, and history people, alternative history, and whatnot. But when it comes to actual things, something like a business or economics and this kind of things, Ranveer is actually not very interested in these things, and it really shows in videos and type of guests he invites. And in this particular episode, he has invited Naval Ravikant. Naval Ravikant basically is a founder, angel investor, and has been invested in many companies. So he's a very practical man, and he's also very known for giving a advice, investing advice, life advice. So you can see what is happening now. So there is this guy who is in idea land, and there is other side. There is Naval Ravikant, who is a practical man, and this actually ignites and makes it a very funny thing because. Just imagine it like two characters who don't even are completely non-sick. Something like Jack Peralta and Raymond Holt in Brooklyn Nine-Nine. Raymond Holt is like a strict person and Jack Peralta is like the silly person. Both of them are trying to have a conversation, and the strict person is trying to tell something really playful person is really not interested at all to listen. So that's exactly what has happened in this podcast. This is a real nice conversation. Yeah, all the fun or the unintended funnier parts of this conversation by closely observing the body languages of both Ranveer and Naval Ravikant.
This miraculous little world that we're in is beautifully put together. I couldn't do a better job for sure. I couldn't even begin to do the job. And just to give you some ideas as to, just some observations how well it's put together, the fact that science works, that's magic. Technology works, that is magic. You go back and you read books on magic or magicians or fantasy books, they don't have 100 of the power that we have. They don't have self-driving cars, they don't have smartphones, they don't have antibiotics, they don't have rockets, they don't even have fantasy novels, they don't even have clean running water. They don't have reliable food, they don't have food delivery services, right? So we are already living in an age of miracles.
I think the geography that one grows up in definitely determines their mindset in life to a large degree. And personally, my take on spirituality is affected by growing up in India. You read books like the autobiography of your yogi, you read the life of the Buddha. I definitely feel that there's a higher stage of consciousness, and I don't feel like we've reached the final state of evolution. There is definitely an end point which is also beyond the next stage of evolution. And I do believe that, you say that a calm mind is earned. I think that's one of the steps on the ladder, and then there's like higher stages.
I don't know how useful it is to prognosticate about where humanity is headed unless you get there yourself first. And you don't have the ability to do anything for anyone unless you embody it yourself. So to the extent that you think humanity is headed there, I say get there first and then show them the way.
I definitely think.
Now we brings a lot of words like higher state of consciousness. We have not reached that kind of evolutionary stage. Like I don't know why, as soon as Naval Ravikant just said that the importance of science kind of tells some kind of scientific jargon without any basis of like we have not reached a final stage of evolution. Oh, you can see that the comedy is coming up. The one character who's like scientific geek and another character who's pseudoscience or who's more interested in talking about identity is coming up, and it's really funny.
That Naval Ravikant is already on that ladder as compared to other human beings.
I have no idea where I'm on that ladder.
You don't think you're slightly more evolved?
No, I don't.
For which Naval Ravikant obviously gives a very good answer by saying that I'm not really interested in talking myself. So self-obsession is a root of unhappiness, and basically there's some kind of Hindu Vedanta kind of philosophy. And Ranveer, because Naval Ravikant has said that he is not interested in talking himself, but Ranveer is very much interested in talking himself. So that he exactly does that. He actually talks about his channel and how he started podcasting. And also by talking about podcasting, I thought it could have been a great opportunity to take this direction to a kind of a entrepreneurship. As in many articles around the world, YouTubers are now regarded as micro entrepreneurs. And Naval Ravikant being an angel investor, it could have been a good conversation too. But Ranveer doesn't take in that direction. Ranveer focuses more on how some generalization regarding like all Indians are like this, all Indians are like that. I don't know why See, his main point is to the identity of Indian, but he wants to talk about.
The question I have for you is while all of us sit in India and view Naval Ravikant ruling the internet in so many ways, a lot of Indians feel very proud to see someone from India, who shares genetics with us, kind of kill it on a world stage.
People are really proud to see the Indian like Naval Ravikant perform very well. He asked this question, and only this small answer could have been the point of it, and he could have ended the topic of, and it is really nice, this portion. But and we are dragging it. He has already prompting the topic before, and we will prompt it even more in future. Then till now it is not very discomfortable to Naval Ravikant, and he's just sensing like a little bit of, but still it is not really bothering him. Soon you will see that in the next coming few minutes how questioning of Ranveer will really bother Naval Ravikant. And as I said, the filmmaker to imagine both Ranveer and Naval Ravikant as two characters in sitcom, then you can really see the guy, playful person, is slowly irritating the straight person.
I did not feel like I was that smart, because what would happen is I would talk to somebody and they'd say, well, there's this and that, and there's this, and they would just start using big terms and big words and defining huge things. And it took me a long time to figure out they didn't know what they were talking about. If someone's using a lot of big words, it's the mark of a charlatan to explain simple things in a complex way. And it's a mark of a genius like Richard Feynman to explain complicated things in simple ways. The smartest people actually understand what they're talking about, so they can explain it in plain English. They don't need to resort to abstractions. They don't need to impress. And a lot of times with abstractions are leaky. You poke at them and it doesn't quite map, or it doesn't mean what they think it means.
We'll ask Ravikant a really good question. How does he get this clarity of thought? Now, Naval Ravikant gives a good answer, and also specifically mentions that people who talks with big terms doesn't know what they are talking about. And who is the guy who uses big terms like consciousness, higher states of consciousness, more evolutions, and spiritual, all these kinds of jargon. And this basically, at this point, I think, unhilariously, the Naval Ravikant is talking about Ranveer.
This is one of the biggest days of my podcasting career.
The podcast, Ranveer is telling that this is the biggest day of his podcast, and also says that he's a fanboy to Naval Ravikant. And I find this even joking, because I don't know, because Ranveer is not at all interested in Naval's philosophy or concepts, business lessons. He's not at all interested in it. And because he keeps saying it like, I'm your fanboy, two characters are there and one character is trying to irritate it. And as soon as this guy is getting irritated, he says that I like you, I'm your fan.
And I do read a lot of old Indian texts.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Well, like I'm a fan of... Obviously, everyone says Bhagavad Gita, but I like the Ashtavakra Gita, if you've read that one.
Didn't expect you to say that.
No, Ashtavakra Gita is amazing.
Ashtavakra Gita does the same thing as Bhagavad Gita, but Ashtavakra Gita is more simpler, more straightforward in the language. So it can be challenging or overwhelming to many people. So not many people don't read Ashtavakra Gita, but Naval Ravikant is reading. Now, this is a great point to take the conversation to the direction like what is the main takeaways from Ashtavakra Gita, and it could have made a really good conversation, because he asked like, do you feel the Indianness when you read these books?
Yeah.
When you're reading that stuff,
Yeah.
Is there a part of your DNA that feels stimulated being Indian?
Everyone keeps trying to nail me on this,
As
on being Indian.
But he hoped that Ranveer will take this view and not bring this topic further. So he answers the question very well. But to his surprise and to our delight of being funny, he brings this question back about being Indian in the further podcast.
Do you mind that I'm bringing it up so much in this conversation?
No, it's fine. It's fine. Anything's fine.
It's just a part of my identity.
Yeah, it's fine. I mean, I'm Indian too by origin, and probably will end up back there at some point when I'm old enough. I think about it.
I can really imagine it like he's getting annoyed by this kind of questioning, and he's not really interested because he already answered it very well before. Still, Ranveer is keep on pushing on this. So it's like not to feel that this conversation is going time waste. He rationalized himself that anyway he's gonna think about this in the end of his life. So let's talk with Ranveer now.
How do you view the world of content creators going into the future?
I would say, okay, I'll give you some advice. I like being provocative. So I would say be selfish. Be more selfish. Make sure you really enjoy your work. Make sure you really are only working with the people that you really like like working with. Make sure you are only have the guests on that you're proud to have on, that you genuinely want to have conversations with. Um, because I think the value, you've already built something of incredible value, and it's going to continue compounding. So the value now is about the longevity. How long can you keep it going? Whether you go to episode 1,000 or 2,000 or 5,000 matters more than, you know, you don't want to be in grinder mode. If you're just grinding, you're going to burn out. And the day you burn out, this thing is over. So I would say just make sure you enjoy yourself.
And it appears that he's generally giving the advice. But if you read some of Ravikant's tweets, he says that when you criticize someone, don't criticize them personally, criticize them generally, so that they don't personally get hurt. Ranveer was genuinely interested in some points, like flow state when he talked about, and he's generally knowledgeable only. But in many places he was not really interested in the conversation. I think you don't see this kind of bad kind of hosting skills when Ranveer is talking with someone. For example, like someone with this regarding the history of Chhatrapati Shivaji. At that time, Ranveer was genuinely interested regarding the topic. So at the time, he asked genuine questions, and the podcast was nice. The production values were good, and also the content of Ravikant speaking is good. But still, I find that it is a lost opportunity for Ranveer to actually make a really good podcast.
But Naval, genuinely from the bottom of my heart, I bow down to you.
No, don't bows,
really?
please. That's embarrassing. Peer relationships only.
I hear you, but
No bows, no gurus. Anybody calls me, you want to not be my friend? Call me a guru.
no, you're
We're
not,
not going to be friends.
No, I don't think you're a guru, but you are a bit of a bhaiya. You know what bhaiya means?
And quickly, Ranveer one more time calls Ravikant his guru, and ends the podcast. So by now, I think you got the sense what I was trying to convey. That it is very hilarious to see Ranveer not really engaging with Ravikant, and at the same time calling it guru. Hope you understood the humor. It's not like very too much humor is there, but there's a little bit of humor in this because of the contrasting personalities of both. So thank you for watching.